All right, it's Saturday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, and I'm off on another walk. It's a fairly nice day. It's a little cloudy. Uh, there's some somewhat dark clouds in the distance, but I don't think it's supposed to rain today. If it's going to rain at all, I don't think it's going to be much. Might be just like a little sprinkle or something. No big deal, but yeah, I thought I would try to get out and do a little walk. I was gonna go over and check. I was gonna go over and try to check on that cat again. I've been stopping by every day or every night after work, trying to see if I can see that cat again. I'm a little down in the dumps because I wasn't able to find that cat, and it's a possibility the owners never texted me back, or whoever it was, the number on that sign, they never tried to return my call, or they never texted me back. So maybe they found the cat. But a few nights ago, I saw the cat at night. I was riding my bike home from work, and I stopped over just to see if maybe I could catch a glimpse. And it's so dark over there, you can barely see at night in that field by those woods where that cat was hiding. And that cat came out, and I sat on the ground for like an hour and a half in that field. And that cat got about 20 feet from me. He was circling me. He was like zigzagging back and forth like a wolf or something, scared to death. And then I went home. So when I rode my bike home originally, I had brought cat treats back and a bowl of water to try to help the cat. And I kept shaking the cat treats, the container, and the cat got about 20 feet from me and would not come any closer. And I tried and tried and tried. I laid down. I sat there until 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just gave up because it was starting to sprinkle a little bit, starting to rain, so I had to give up. So, and then that's the last time I've seen the cat. But I'm gonna stop over there, but that's not all I'm gonna talk about here. I'm obsessed with this cat. No, I just feel bad. So I'm gonna turn right here at the stop sign and go up the walking trail a little bit. There's some people here, so this is the field that's across the street from my house. That's the government building thing where they have the juvenile court. I like living right next to that government building because it means that they get the roads shoveled, or not shoveled, but plowed. Oh, I'm not with it. I didn't have my coffee today. I should have downed a big old cup of coffee before I did this. Got brain fog. Yeah, it means they get the roads plowed around that building, and I live right over there across the street from it. There's this big field. It's private property, but I sometimes later at night I'll come over and practice. I've once or twice I've gone over to practice my disc golf driving, which is pretty pathetic. I've been watching some YouTube videos trying to get better, a little bit better technique. So I've improved my distance a little bit, but those dudes are throwing like 500 feet, which is overkill for the course, because the course is right over there across the, like one of the holes is right there across the river there. I wouldn't call that a river, the creek. But here's kind of here's the walking trail here. I could go up this road, and that leads to the left. That leads it like right where that cat would be, or the last time I saw the cat. I'm gonna go up here. But I'm not doing this just to talk about cat. I'm just talking about random stuff. But I watched the season 3 finale of The Boys last night. Oh man, it's so good. I loved season 3. Season 3 of The Boys is my favorite by far. I was losing a little bit of interest in season 2, just a little bit. I still liked it. I love season 1. Season 2 was my least favorite, but season 3 kind of, I don't know if it's just like, if it's the mood I'm in or for that kind of thing or what, but, which affects my enjoyment of it. But, for some reason, I really got invested in season 3. Anthony Starr, the New Zealand actor, I guess he was friends with Carl Urban beforehand, who's also from New Zealand. He's just, he's awesome in that role. I guess he was in a show called Banshee as well. I'm gonna have to check that out, but he's becoming one of my favorite actors. And I was thinking about some of the Marvel, I wonder if any other comic IP, comic property owners have reached out to contact about possible talks. Because I don't know what shows. I know what shows I'd like Marvel to have pre-production on when it comes to like Disney, the Disney Plus streaming shows for Marvel. That's that cat right there. That was that cat. That was either... Are you kidding me? I thought I saw it. Probably heard my big yapper. Because I've got my headphones on, so I talk loud anyway. I'm a notoriously loud talker. I got that from my dad. My dad talks loud. Pretty sure I saw the cat duck in there. I mean, it could have been another animal because I only caught a glimpse. Nah, that was a rabbit, I think. There's the rabbit. Nah, I thought I saw the cat. See, everything I see, I think is, oh, hey, bunny. Hey, how you doing? All right. Just sitting there. I thought that was the cat. Everything I see, I think is that damn cat. I would love to find that cat. There's the underpass of that walking of the bridge that I ride over and walk over. But yeah, I can come down in this field, back behind those trees right there, and I can practice my disc golf driving a little bit. I mean, eventually somebody would probably run me off the property, but they're pretty uptight about their private property here. This all belongs to the museum. This all belongs to the Annie Oakley Garst. It's called the Garst Museum. I'm not sure why, but it's mostly Annie Oakley stuff. But anyway, some of the stuff I'd like to see on the Marvel streaming that I would think Anthony Starr would be good for. And there might be other people as well, but Carl Urban's already been in a Marvel movie. He was the Executioner in Thor Ragnarok, which is an old Marvel character from the early 60s, like 1964, something like that. With the, first appearance was in Avengers, I think the first year of the Avengers. Golden Age comic books. Silver Age comic books, sorry. Not Golden Age, Silver Age. Golden Age would be Superman. Marvel kicked off the Silver Age. I misspoke there, so how dare you. So I'd like to see, there's a character I'd like to see him bring back. I think it's a character that was killed off called Jack of Hearts. Well, there's a big rabbit right there. There's rabbits everywhere. I went riding the other night, last weekend, and I must have seen 100 rabbits. See, there's the bull. There's the bull, but no sign of the feline. There's the bull that I left out for him. I also left some treats out here. The treats aren't there. This is a couple nights ago, so some animal probably got them. But I have a feeling when I was sitting that night, I was sitting. This is still museum. Technically, I'm not supposed to be on this. This is museum property. There's a museum over there. They've got some old cranky dude that's the groundskeeper. If he saw me, he'd run me off probably, but oh well. I think this may not be their property technically. I don't know. Nobody's ever said anything. It's never been an issue. I just worry about that kind of stuff. I don't like trespassing on people's. But the cat was like right here, and I was sitting kind of where that big weed is sticking up right there. I was sitting right there, and I sat there for like an hour and a half trying to coax this damn cat into coming over so I know once I got my hands on it, it'd start petting it, it would like me. I have plenty of experience petting on cats, scratching cats. I'm a world-class cat scratcher. So, I mean, Chubbles and Mr. Millet and Rousey would attest to that. But sadly, I don't think, and by the time I left, the cat was like down here a little bit. So sadly, I hope nothing happened to it, and I hope they found him. So, because it seemed like a really nice, it was scared to death. So, but I'm gonna go check to see if that sign is still up. The last time I saw, like 2 nights ago, they still had that sign up, but that doesn't mean anything. But hell, they didn't even like text me back. If they're so worried about the cat, I'm hoping they found it. So I'm gonna continue walking to the cat sign again. But like I was saying about the Disney stuff, I would like them to do a Jack of Hearts. I love Jack of Hearts. Great character, underused character. I know the character was created by I know the character was created by Bill Mantlo, but I don't remember like where the character appeared first. I know where I first saw the character. That was in Iron Man in the late 70s. He was an Iron Man comic book quite a bit, because the character's kind of got a little bit of an armor theme. The armor, he's kind of partial armor that's made to look like the Jack icon on a playing card. Hence Jack of Hearts. Plus his name is Jack Hart. the character's original name is Jack Hart. But really cool character. But it's another theme. And you gotta remember that character was created in the mid to late 70s. And I know Bill Mantlo created the character. That much I know. It's a shame what happened to Bill Mantlo. Might talk about that later. But Bill Mantlo was an awesome writer for Marvel in the 70s and 80s. And then he quit the business. And I believe he had a law degree. And he became a lawyer. And he was riding his bike in like Manhattan in the 90s, and I think he got struck by a vehicle and he was paralyzed for life. I think that's Bill Mantlo. Pretty sure I'm getting the right guy. Hope I'm not confusing that, but you never know with me lately. But Bill Mantlo was one of the writers. He was the main writer on a lot of the toy license stuff from Marvel in the 70s, early 80s, like Micronauts, Rom the Space Knight. Bill Mantlo was the head writer on that. And he also he did a pretty good run on the Incredible Hulk for a while, but he was the one that, I think he did Iron Man for a little while, but yeah, he was the creator of that Jack of Hearts character. Jack of Hearts, he was the son of a scientist that was experimenting with some kind of alien technology called zero fluid, and he got exposed. The scientist exposed his son, Jonathan Hart or whatever, to that zero fluid, and it gave him a uncontrollable superpower. He's kind of like a being of energy. So they built that playing card themed armor to try to suppress that energy. And that was kind of a common theme, where he could never control his powers. He was always losing control, and he was very angry about his situation. But he could fly, and he could zap people with like energy blast, kind of like repulsor energy blast. It also gave him strength and stamina, and he could fly. He could fly in outer space and stuff. It's a cool character, but he wasn't a happy guy. So, and he was always on the edge of his powers being out of control. I think they eventually killed the character off. I think the character lost control and exploded, because he's basically a living bomb of energy. So, I think they took the sign down. I can't see that far, but I think that sign is down, which might be doggy, which might be good. That means they might have found, I can't tell. Nope, it's still up. The sign is lower than I thought. No. Poor kitty. See, now, I had my hopes up. But that doesn't mean that they haven't found the cat. But they went through all this trouble. They went through all this trouble to make this sign and get this picture blown up of this cat. You'd think that they would return. There's a nice Porsche. Every time I see a Porsche, I think, okay, who's the U-boat? Who's the U-boat commander from Risky Business? What a dumbass. You let some dumb hoe. Love that movie. That's actually my favorite Tom Cruise movie. We used to watch the shit out of that movie when it first came out, 1983. Fucking Rebecca De Mornay. You ever get high, Joel? Great movie, man. God, that's a great movie. I have a trigonometry midterm tomorrow, and I'm being chased by Guido, the killer pimp. Hi, how you doing?
Warm.
I think I scared that lady. I can just, you know, people look at me funny when I'm talking. Yeah. I'm just on Bluetooth on my phone. You know, people walk around talking on Bluetooth on their phone all the time, right? Except I'm holding a camera, a selfie stick. It's not really a selfie stick, actually. It's just like a little 5-inch charger stick. I can extend it with the tripod thing a little bit, but that's the line for the roast beef place. It's called Made Right. People in this town love it. Like, people in that line right there in the middle of in the street, they line up on the weekends for that Made Right place. I hate it. I think it's fucking nasty. They make little roast beef sandwiches, and supposedly they're famous in Ohio. Made Right. It's been around. They get crazy business. I've had it twice. It was nasty. They put like this little pickle on there, and it just was not good. And people just love them. People flock to them, and I don't know why. It's been around for a long time. I know that. Like, you can go in there and get beer. It's like a little, you know, it's like a little family-owned roast beef sandwich shop. You can get malts, and yeah, the malts are good, but they're a little overpriced. But yeah, when I first moved around this area, I first started working at Whirlpool, there was a bunch of guys that would always order Made Right, and they'd send somebody out to get them, like you know, they'd get like 10 bags of Made Rights. I'm like, what the fuck's a Made Right? They're like, oh, you gotta have Made Right, man. They're the best ever. And I had it, and I was like, ugh. I'd rather just go to Arby's. Yeah, I mean, but I just don't get it. So I went there. I mean, I had them twice. I said, I'll give them another chance. And even my wife was like, ugh, what is the deal? I said, I have no idea why people like this. But people come and they'll eat these. There it is right there, Made Right sandwiches. And the line is always fucking, got people on motorcycles and scooters, and the line is always a mile long for it. I don't get it. One of the great mysteries of the universe, I guess. People seem to fucking go crazy over it. Not me. And hell, I live like 400 yards from it. I could just walk over there every day, but they're like, oh, I tell people where I live. I say, I live right by the Garth Museum. Oh, you live by Made Right, you're lucky. Really? I'm lucky? I wouldn't feed that to my goddamn dog. I don't even have a dog, but if I did. Uh-oh, somebody's coming behind me. I used to have a dog. I had 3 dachshunds. Molly, Mariah, and Mercedes. Molly technically wasn't ours. It was, originally they weren't ours. It was my mother-in-law's, but she couldn't take care of 3. So we ended up taking 2. We had to put down Mercedes. She's a little long-haired dachshund, little wiener dog type dachshund. The other dachshund we had was a bigger one. It was a bigger type. But yeah, we had to like 2016 we had to or 2015 we had to put down Mercedes. It was a sad day, but she was like 18 years old. She could barely walk. That was a sad day. I remember that. All right. So, no luck on the cat. That's where the cat would be, across in that field. Oh, man. It is hot and humid today. I should have gotten out earlier. It actually got down to like the upper 60s last night, and it felt good. I was like, oh, a little bit of relief. Some of the humidity broke, but it's coming back. It is coming back. Means it's going to be hot and stuffy in Fram Monday. And I'm officially, I guess my training is over. Not really. I mean, the kid they had training me, he didn't know it. He didn't really know what he was doing. He didn't really care either. Nice kid, but he didn't give a shit. And they all don't like him. So he's kind of, he can't focus on anything. He's a 23-year-old kid that kind of acts like Beavis. I was calling him Beavis there for a little bit. Oh, I'm sad about the cat. I'm never going to shut up about this cat. I failed. Pretty sure they might have found the cat. Hello. Oh man, the wind's picking up a little bit. Some of the clouds look getting kind of dark, but I just don't think it's going to rain. But like I was saying about the streaming, back to the Marvel stuff, I would love to see a Jack of Hearts Disney Plus show, as long as they did it somewhat right. I mean, Moon Knight was so disappointing. I didn't even finish it. I just couldn't. I was just like, man, y'all just, my worst fears were realized. I mean, y'all just butchered the shit out of it. It's like they had in their production meeting or something. It's like, how can we absolutely just fucking butcher the shit out of this and totally go against the grain of what Moon Knight is? Oh, I know. Anyway, they didn't even get the Jeff Lemire. I mean, I can understand that they go with some of the retcon stuff and go to like the Jeff Lemire run of Moon Knight. They didn't even get that right. Total fail. So far, probably my least favorite Marvel show so far, with Daredevil being my favorite. You know, I liked Hawkeye. You know, Hawkeye went with the more updated run, you know, with Kate Bishop and everything, but they actually nailed it as far as the comic book is concerned. I can't remember the name of the creator that did that Hawkeye run, but they nailed it somewhat. You know, it was cool seeing Wilson Fisk again. They got that character right. They can't get Dr. Doom right, but boy, they did get Wilson Fisk right. But I think the Jack of Hearts would be cool. I know Jack of Hearts, he had an extended little run in Iron Man where he was a reoccurring character, like in 1978. Going back to that great year again. 78, 79, 80, something like that. Right around that time. And then they did a Jack of Hearts little, I think it was a 4-issue mini series thing, 4 or 5 issues in the early 80s. I don't remember who wrote it. I think Bill Mantlo, but I'm not sure who was the artist on it. I want to say Sal Buscema, but I don't think so. I used to have it, but I can't remember it. I'd have to refresh my memory on who the artist was on that. But other than that, you didn't really see the character too much. He had a couple issues where he was in with the Defenders, the original Defenders. I think I'm gonna wait for tomorrow to go out on my bike. Think about riding all the way to I think about getting up early. Yeah. And going to Bradford, Ohio, doing the whole 28-mile trip. Probably my legs would definitely be feeling it for work Monday, though, I'm pretty sure, because I haven't been riding much in the last week. I only rode to work twice this week because of rain. We had quite a few days. One day threatened rain, it never did, and I was mad that I didn't ride my bike. But one day it did rain, and the other day I would have missed the rain, but so I decided to just drive. So I drove 3 days. I was actually supposed to work today, but I got saved. I was actually supposed to go in at 3 o'clock and work, but the lady, I've been there a month, and I've been mandatoried for 2 Saturdays, but they canceled me because the lady who's been there like 45 years, she had a week off where she was in the hospital and she needs the money, so she volunteered for Saturday. So they scratched my name off the list. I was happy. She goes, I'm sorry. And I was like, that's all right. You're all right. I mean, I would have worked. Her job is really easy. I just wasn't in the mood to be in there. Oh, there's some disc golfers across the way there. There's a couple groups. I'm glad people are using that. I am not. I haven't been. I think there's 3 groups. Now that might be somebody fishing. Can't tell. I'm gonna walk up there. But yeah, she goes, I need the money. I had a week off. She's old. She's been there like 43, 44 years or something. She said she's gonna try to make it an even 50. I'm like, okay. But I told her every once in a while, if she gets mandatoried on a Saturday, I'd take her job once I get more comfortable and I'm there a little longer. I don't know how long I'm going to be there, though. Haven't really. I don't mind the job, but some of the people are. Some of the people have issues. I mean, you're going to get that anywhere, but. I don't really like working with people that have been there so long and they are so miserable that they try to make other people miserable. Like, yeah, the days I was miserable at my job, I don't ever like try to make other people feel that way. Let's see. I did see some people. I did see at least 2 groups. Yeah, there they are. They're up on the hill. There's some people just sitting by the pond.
I like your GoPro.
Oh, thanks.
What are you doing with it?
Oh, just looking at the disc golf course. He asked me what I was doing with my GoPro. What do you think I'm doing with it? I like the GoPro. Can I have it? No. Cannot. There you go. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I don't mean to.
Oh, no, you're good.
I think they want me to get out of the way. I'm like, get out of the way. You're slowing us down. Yeah, it's hole 1 up there. I don't know what hole they're on. I think they're on hole. Actually, I think they're done. I need to get my ass over here. But I'm more into the practice mode right now. Yeah, that's hole 9 right there, and then hole 1. They're on hole 9. Okay. Do not enter. But that's one idea for a Marvel show, Jack of Hearts. Well, my whole point of bringing it up is I think Anthony Starr might be decent. The only problem I see is he's actually in his mid-40s. I did not know that. I thought he was in his 30s because he looks a little younger. It's hard to tell. But if you see him in interviews and stuff, he doesn't look like he's mid-40s. Like, I mean, he might look 40. You know, it's hard to tell, especially with those actors. But, I mean, they're not all rich, you know, they're not all wealthy. But and he's not like a really big guy, but you wouldn't have to be like a really big guy to do that character. They can buff him up with the armor suit, you know. But that's just I'm kind of just spitballing about roles for Anthony Starr. But that's the first thing that popped up, because I think he could play that character. That character has like a glowing eye. The Jack of Hearts character has kind of like a glowing energy eye. And he has the facial expressions. He's big. Like there's a lot of facial expressions going on with that character because he gets angry really easily. He's, like I said, he's not happy with his situation. He's very unstable. So the way he plays Homelander with the facial expressions, I mean, the facial expressions are everything with that character. So the subtle, I mean, everyone can smile with that pissed off look in their eye and do a fake smile, but he really nails it, because to do it on camera is different. You know, to do it while you're doing a role, some people could easily screw that up, either overdo it, like go over the top with it. He nails it perfectly. It's nuanced. And to have that look, like, good God, why am I putting up with this shit? You know, because he has contempt for everything, but he can't, you know, he can't portray that. He's got to, you know, he's got to have that falsy, wholesome, even though the cat's kind of out of the bag, but he's got to have somewhat, he still clings to that American, I mean, the guy's got a cape as a, guy's got a flag as a cape, for crying out loud. But the way he plays it is perfect, in my opinion. So I think he could pull off a Jack of Hearts character as well. I'm trying to think of like another character. Deathlock was one that came to mind. Another cool Marvel character created in the mid-70s. I know who created that character as well, Rich Buckler, who is actually an artist. He was one of Marvel's top artists in the early 70s. He was doing Fantastic Four. He did some Inhumans. He was kind of George Perez's mentor. George Perez started at Marvel being Rich Buckler's assistant. Like, he would help him, you know, with some of the art details. And of course, George Perez went on to be, you know, who just recently passed, sadly, but he went on to be one of the legendary comic book artists for Marvel and DC. But Rich Buckler was kind of the George Perez before George Perez. But he's the one that created Deathlock. Deathlock didn't have his own comic book. He was in what's the name? His first appearance was Astonishing Tales, I think. Tales to Astonish, Astonishing Tales. Well, I can't remember exactly. I think 1974, maybe. Don't quote me on that. It's right around that time. But yeah, it's like he's a soldier, military guy that's, you know, in a future landscape, like a apocalyptic type landscape, and they resurrect him, you know, cybernetic. I mean, it's the same old thing, you know. It's Terminator before Terminator, basically. But Deathlock is kind of the Marvel's Terminator, way before James Cameron Terminator or whatever. So, well, way before, 10 years, you know. But yeah, Deathlock. I'm not sure if Deathlock ever had his own even mini series. I know he had a lot of I know he was in Marvel 2-in-1 with The Thing, and I think he was in a Marvel Team Up, and I know he was in some Captain America issues in the early 80s when Mike Zeck took over the artwork on Captain America after John Byrne, Roger Stern left with their little 8-9 issue run. Mike Zeck, I think J.J. DeMatteis was the writer. Mike Zeck took over the art, and I know he had a couple issues with Deathlock, Captain America Deathlock, and he draws awesome Deathlock. Mike Zeck does. But that would be cool. That would be a cool Disney Plus streaming show. Do like a season Deathlock. I think that would go over well. But I think they were afraid that that's been done to death. The old cyborg type, you know. It's really cool though in the comic books how he talks to his, because he's got an internal computer, and he calls him Pooter. Instead of computer, he calls him, hey Pooter. Forget the guy's name, Lance. It's like Lance Mullins or something was the guy's original name. I can't remember. God, I'm forgetting a lot of important shit. But whether or not Anthony Starr could be in that role, I think he could. I think he definitely could. That might be another, he might not be gruff enough, like gritty enough. Like they made Josh Brolin as Cable. I mean, Josh Brolin would have been a good, you know, Josh Brolin would have been a good Deathlock, but, you know, Rob Liefeld created Cable. There was some Deathlock inspiration there, a little bit, just a little. I mean, the characters aren't that similar, just, you know, there's a little bit of visual, and I think even Rob Liefeld would admit, yeah, there might be a tiny bit of Deathlock there. But, you know, that happens all the time. You know, the big thing is they're saying, oh, you know, Deadpool's just Deathstroke. Well, yeah, the name, you know, Slade Wilson, that's the only similarity. Oh, they have, well, they carry dual wield swords. Yeah, the character's nothing alike. Nothing alike. So, yeah. Deathstroke doesn't act like Deadpool. I mean, obviously, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But, so Deathlock would be cool. That'd be a cool second streaming show that Anthony Starr could possibly be in. Carl Urban might be good for that too. There's probably a lot of actors that would be good for Deathlock. You know, like I said, Josh Brolin. But Anthony Starr, they could do him up to... There's been a number of Deathlocks. It's the original Deathlock character. They've had like 3 or 4 different reboots of that character. Kind of like they've done Ghost Rider. They've given Deathlock the Ghost Rider treatment. Ghost Rider, to me, was Johnny Blaze, and now there's been like 4 different Ghost Riders. The mantle of Ghost Rider, you know. Jeez, I hate that shit. I really do. Hey, ducks. What up? Now I want to ride my bike. I see all these people riding their bike. Hello.
Hi.
That's good. Hey, what are you doing with your GoPro? It's a death ray. I'm Rowdy Roddy Piper. I'm looking at people on They Live. This shows your true nature. What do you think I'm doing with a GoPro, kid? Anyway, sorry. So that's 2. Jack of Hearts and Deathlock. Trying to think of a third. The third wouldn't really be a streaming show, but the third character that I think Anthony Starr might be decent for would be an X-Men villain called Mr. Sinister. I think that might be able to work. I could see that. You know, Mr. Sinister. I was trying to say CGI and Sinister at the same time. Mr. Sinister would have to be CGI'd up a little bit, you know. But so, of course, Deathlock would. And they all would, Jack of Hearts. That's not a character you can just walk around with your helmet off like Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr., who rarely has his helmet on, you know. Jack of Hearts, you know, has that particular look, you know, with his glowing heart eye and all that stuff. And Deathlock has the, you know, he's half cyborg. He's got the head that's split down the middle between the disfigurement and he's got like the cybernetic eyepiece that comes over. You know, it's like a third of his head is cybernetic or whatever. Not half. It doesn't go down half, but that's cool. You know, Mr. Sinister, I think, would be a cool villain that he could portray. But I'm just doing this off the top of my head, thinking about it, brainstorming a little bit on. Not that my input sadly has any. I wish I could just call these guys up. Hey, make this happen. Reality doesn't work that way, kid. Nope. There's a turtle. Is that a turtle? Is that a turtle on that? Is that a bird or a turtle on that branch down there? I cannot see. I can't see with a shit. That looks. No, that's got to be a bird. Nope, that's a turtle. That was a turtle. I want a pet turtle. Yeah, that turtle was sunning himself out on the branch, and then he must have heard my big yapper, and he took a belly flopper off of the branch into the water. That was cool. The Nature Channel. Okay, Jacques fucking Cousteau. We must be very careful in nature not to misgender the turtle. It is very delicate. We must keep the outrage homeostasis in line. Must not offend the turtle. That looks like a whole row of turtles. It's not. Now, see, I see something, and then my mind, it looks like a whole row of turtles underneath that, but it's not, it's rocks. Dumbass. Oh, look, it's a whole row of turtles. I want a pet turtle. Name him Gamera. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go out to the pet store. My cats would be fucking trying to climb in the turtle aquarium. I don't know anything about taking care of a fucking turtle. I would like to name him Gamera. I could paint little fire things on the edge of his shell like he. Never mind. Jesus fucking Christ. What is wrong with you? Anyway. Oh shit, man. Going nuts. Get a turtle and call the turtle Gamera. But you fucking. Anyway. Yeah, we'll have to edit that out. Just forget about the whole turtle Gamera thing. Yeah. Anyway. Now I've totally lost what I was saying. Not that I was focused on anything. Not that I had any focus to begin with. But I mean, I can't really think of any other characters for Anthony Starr. I don't even want to go into DC. There was an interview with him at a convention during season 2 of The Boys. Interview with Anthony Starr. Not really an interview, but like a panel. And they ask him about, you know, how he pulls off Homelander and all this. And the guy asking the question said he was a Superman fan, and Anthony Starr acted like he was all pissed off. He's like, fuck Superman. He goes, it's unfortunate you like Superman and all this. It was totally an act, of course, but the guy started to walk away from the microphone like that he was asking the question. And Anthony Starr was like, you get back to that fucking spot. I'm not done with you. Everybody's laughing. And Carl Urban, who was on the panel, goes, well, you just blew your chance to work for DC. Anthony Starr goes, oh yeah, I love DC. Oh yeah, I'm just kidding. I love DC. He goes, yep, there goes your chance for Green Lantern. So maybe it could be Guy Gardner. I mean, it's not really great casting. Guy Gardner's an asshole, and we know Anthony Starr can pull that off, but it's not the subtle asshole of Homelander. It's a totally different, it's more of a New York, you know, arrogant New York, mouthy asshole, Guy Gardner, which I hate talking DC anyway. I wouldn't want to see him in DC. I want to see him in Marvel stuff. I know everyone bashes the mouse, and I'm not a fan, but I do like original Marvel stuff. Oh man, it's hot. Whew. I'm on my way home here. So yeah, I wouldn't want Anthony Starr to waste his talents on DC stuff. DC stuff is dying anyway. Like Black Adam's coming out. That's like the only thing. They can't even get a Flash movie made. They got that fucking waste of space Ezra Miller, who I thought was terrible as Flash anyway. But he was terrible as Barry Allen. Hello, how you doing? Yeah, DC just, for the most part, can't get casting right. Of course they can cast Superman, okay. Henry Cavill's an awesome Superman. I'd like to see him as Wonder Man for Marvel. I'd like to see him as Simon Williams. That'd be awesome. He could be a good Wonder Man. Might not be big enough though. Might need somebody a little bigger. Wonder Man's pretty stout. You know, he's Chris. You know, you'd probably need somebody more in the lines of Chris Hemsworth's size to pull off Wonder Man. John Cena. No. Mandarin John Cena. He's Peacemaker. I mean, he would have made a decent Wonder Man, actually. I mean, I'm not a big John Cena fan. I don't hate him. In the movies, I don't hate him. I'm not a fan of his social media activity. Whatever. A lot of those guys are directed by their PR shit anyway. I would say fucking 80% of them. Now some of them go total nuts. I'd say 80% of them at least don't actually feel the way that they fucking virtue signal. It's all PR shit. A lot of them would just rather shut their mouth and do their job. But then you get Looney Tunes. You get Looney Tunes like Seth Rogen, who unfortunately is an executive producer on The Boys. Yeah, okay. We'll let it slide on that. But I can't stand Seth Rogen. But yeah, I mean, DC's casting. I never thought Ryan Reynolds should have been Hal Jordan. I didn't like that casting at all. That's not. I see Hal Jordan as a little bit more older, a little bit more mature. Not really. Hal Jordan was never like a smart-assy type guy. But Tony Stark wasn't really either. Tony Stark just a little bit. But Tony Stark was much more of a straight up character. You know, he wasn't the bantering back and forth. But, you know, Marvel has put that in their movies. You know, Doctor Strange wasn't like that at all. Doctor Strange was a ultra serious type personality. And I think Hal Jordan was way more serious than Ryan Reynolds could ever pull off. Ryan Reynolds has a very hard time pulling off serious. It's hard. Anytime he's in a serious role, I have a hard time suspending my disbelief, because he's a natural. He can do the natural smartass on screen, you know. And so can Robert Downey Jr. And fortunately, they made that work. But in the comic books, Tony Stark was never a smartass. He was... Excuse me. Fucking allergies. It is humid today. Whew. Humid as hell. But there's my walk, so that's something to think about. I bought a, what's cool is I bought a bike carrier thing to strap on my trunk of my car. So if I don't have to work next weekend, I'm gonna try to take a trip to Muncie, and I'm gonna ride around Muncie, and I'm gonna visit one of my old comic book shops. I might just ride around Muncie for a few hours and just, oh, kitty, hey kitty. That's not one of my kitties, that's the neighbor's kitty, but I pet on him. Yeah, you gotta let, this one bites sometimes, yeah, but oh, yeah, you're a good petter. Yeah, oh boy, yeah, yeah, yeah. Come here. Say, don't do Bill Cosby on me. Don't do a Bill Cosby on me. No, no. All right, well, I'm signing off.